Okay, guys, don't mind my Snuggie. I got this for Christmas, and it is super comfy. Um, anyway, super comfy. Today is day number 4 post-op, so I wanted to give you guys tonight's update real quick. Today I did have my post-op appointment. The office I go to usually schedules a post-op follow-up appointment 24 to 48 hours after the surgery, but because I scheduled my surgery for a Thursday, when I went to leave the office on Thursday and they went to schedule the post-op appointment, there was no time slots available for me to go in on Friday, so we had to wait till today. So let's get into, we'll go into that first, and then we'll get into like the general of what was going on today as far as recovery. But at the post-op appointment, I did find out that on my upper jaw, only 5 implants were placed out of 6. And the reason the last one was not placed was because I had an infection up here on the front of my gum. Like if I lifted my lip, you could have seen the little pocket, the little bubble. Apparently that one, and several others, but this one was the main issue. That one ate straight through the bone, came out the backside, and started puddling another infectious bubble on the upper palate of my mouth, which I knew was there because I could feel it. And I knew they were connected to each other because if I pushed on the one in my palate, it would make that one either pop or throb, like it would affect that one. So I knew they were somehow connected. But apparently, that one ate through the bone, it started puddling in my upper palate, and then that started eating through bone. And that's just one infection. There was one down here that was starting to eat through bone, which it didn't affect the ones down here. They were able to place my implants where they originally planned. So I do have all 6 on the bottom jaw. But I guess in the upper jaw, aside from that big one, there were several other small ones that also started eating away bone. Because of this, the dentist had to obviously clear out all these infectious pockets, but that one right here made the bone too unstable to place that implant in. So what he ultimately ended up doing was placed extra grafts in all these holes to fill them in. But now we're going to wait until I go back in April. He's going to do another scan, make sure everything looks okay, like it's osteo-integrated correctly. And as long as that's happened, he will then go ahead and place my 6th implant. So we did go over that there was that complication. He explained to me how he intended to, get around it or fix it. So now it's just pretty much a waiting game. I do have my next appointment in April scheduled. I don't know exactly when it is because I put it right in my phone and I've already forgotten it. I do believe it's the 15th of April. So when I go back, they'll check that and, fix it, put the next implant in. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's the 16th of April. So they'll go in, do that. And at the same time, they will finally, for the first time, take my temporary teeth out and check the implants that were placed, in January, and make sure everything there looks good, and then we'll start talking about making my final set. Now, when I had this done, I actually had 2 dentists do it. The main dentist, the man who created the Stabili-teeth approach, the main man, as I call him, Dr. Medgis, is the one who did my uppers, and then the other dentist did my lowers. So I got to talk to both of them today. I did tell the other dentist, since he's the one that did the lower jaw, that I do have this little sore. But unfortunately, because these implants currently have not had time to heal or osteointegrate or anything like that, they could not take either top or bottom out to do anything to the bottom to stop that sore from happening. So I just have to, salt water rinse and try and keep it as clean as possible. And then when they are finally able to pop this all out in April, then he will, because I'm obviously not going to have my final set at that appointment in April. That's going to be the appointment where we start like working on making the final set, like where I start picking shades and shape and all that. So he'll take this out at that point when he goes to check the bottom implants, and he said that we can adjust it so that that stops happening, which is fine. It doesn't bother me. The only time I really notice it's there is when I go to use the prescription mouthwash or my Oragel mouthwash, it starts to burn. That's the only time I really feel it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known that sore was there. So we're okay. I can live with it until April. But that was pretty much it for the appointment. The appointment, they just pretty much, both of them told me how the surgery went, what they had to do, what the plan is. And, most of my questions that I'd written on a piece of paper were mainly about shaping the teeth and can I raise the gum a little higher on the top and can we shave that down? So like all those questions, like I did show them, I did read them off to them. But to be honest with you, most of those questions will either be answered, or if it's a question about a problem I'm having, it will be fixed at that appointment in April. I will also be getting fitted. I will also get fitted in April for my night guard, because I do have a tendency to clench my teeth in my sleep. Now that makes me nervous. I was really hoping that today I could get my night guard or get something, because I don't clench all the time. But generally when I start getting really stressed out or, I've just had a really rough few days, that's when the clenching starts. So like we're a few months out from me being able to get fitted for a night guard, and that's what really scares me because I don't want to be putting extra bite pressure on these teeth, even my temps, because I don't want to hurt the implants themselves underneath. So that's kind of an issue I'm a little nervous about, but I'm sure I will find a solution. Now, as far as recovery process goes, because that's pretty much all I had to say about the actual appointment, I am still experiencing some swelling right here, and it goes straight down. Like literally, I can feel a line of tenderness, and you can still see there's slight swelling right here. This side's not as bad, but it's like right there. So it's like if I put my finger up and then curled it around, right where my finger is sitting on my face on both sides is where the swelling is. That and my chin. My chin feels tender and swollen still. So right here and this little area right here is the only swelling. Everything else, the swelling is pretty much gone in. So we're getting better there. I did start playing around a little bit today with trying to figure out how to talk with these in. The issue I am having is, and I know you're not going to be able to see the upper, so I'll just show you the lower. See that little lip? There's one on the bottom and one on the top. In order for me to be clearer when I talk, I have to be able to push my tongue, that like the top part of my tongue, up against that a little to kind of block the airflow from going through and through, causing the lisp, causing some of the problem. The only issue with that is when I do that, that little piece of skin on the bottom of my tongue is being slammed up against the bottom lip. And it's bruising it. So I can try and talk a little clearer for a minute or two, but then it really starts to hurt. So still playing around with that, but at least I've started to figure it out. Now that the swelling's gone, I feel comfortable sitting down and just randomly talking to myself until I can figure out how to actually talk clear. So we're getting there. That's a plus. So swelling's down. I did try to go without pain meds today. Like I took my Motrin and my Advil dual action this morning. But then once they wore off, I wanted to see how much it would start to hurt. Well, the swelling did start to come back because I didn't have the NSAID, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory medication in my system. So between the fact that this started to feel a little puffy again and my gums started getting kind of sore again, I finally, at 7 p.m., took another round of pain medication. My first batch I took was probably around like 8 this morning. So I almost went 12 hours without it, but at the same time, we're not there yet. So I was just testing the waters. I wanted to see if it would still be sore enough to require pain meds, and yes, it is. Is it as sore as before? No, much better, but still a little sore. I did attempt to use my water pick today. That is still a definite no-no. I didn't try to use it directly on the gums because obviously they're stitched and they're still raw. But what I did try to do was spray it straight down or straight up so that it would first hit my inner lip and then splash back into there. But it's still too forceful to do that. So no water pick yet. But other than that, that's pretty much all the stuff that was new today and that happened today. Definitely much better than the last 4 days.